Hello! Hello! Welcome back. We are your bearded brothers coming to you after the afternoon games of week 2 to finish talking about the Sunday night game and the Monday night game from week 1. And we're going to talk about all the games that have been played to this point to week 2, which excludes the Sunday night and 2 Monday nights. Or 2 Sunday nights and 1 Monday night.
No, 2 Monday nights.
Yeah, it's a Sunday night and 2 Mondays. So, we are going to not talk about those because they haven't happened yet. At least not in our timeline. Maybe there's alternate timelines where they've already happened. Or maybe you're watching this in a future where you've already watched the next episode and know how this turns out. If so, let us know what's going on.
Why did you watch that for? I'm not going to question it.
Don't question what our viewers do. Our viewers are not normal.
Chronological. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad.
Our viewers are not normal.
Well, none of us are really normal, but that's,
Chronology is what happens to regular people.
Well, that would be called time, but okay.
Oh, yes, but we all know that time is a construct, and it's not exactly linear from cause to effect. It's more like a big ball of timey-wimey stuff.
Okay, listen, you're just taking shit out of Doctor Who now. Let's just move on.
All right. So we'll probably start with news, because there are a couple of pieces of news. One that ties into the Monday night football game. So let's talk about a couple of things first, then we'll talk NFL news, and we'll finish up with that last piece of news. We'll talk the Sunday night game and then the Monday night game. So, non-NFL news first, because there is one big piece of juicy little beef news, and it's hockey-related news. So,
hockey?
New Columbus head coach Mike Babcock has come under some fire.
It's not because of his name.
It's not because of his name. Apparently, he made several players unlock their phones and show him their photo rolls.
Which is weird.
It is very weird, and it may have been in violation of specific CBA agreements. Because he's delving into their personal lives. Yeah. This isn't the first time he's done something odd. Back in the day, when Mitch Marner of the Toronto Maple Leafs was a rookie, Babcock was the coach. He apparently asked a young player to rank the hardest working to least hardest working players on the team. The player felt pressured to answer it the way Babcock would see it, and thus ranked several stars at the bottom of the list. Babcock then told those players that a rookie thought that they didn't work hard, which apparently left Marner in some tears, and he was not happy about that. This is the type of thing that he's known to do. He's kind of a dick. Goes right along with his name.
But why, though?
It's just how he is. It's the way
does he enjoy the power?
I think so. So there was an investigation done, and that concluded yesterday. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if he was going to be exonerated. This was all just a big kerfluffle. We didn't know if they were going to try to ride with him and smooth it out. Apparently, they had a discussion, and Mike Babcock has resigned before ever coaching a game for Columbus.
That was a good choice.
I don't know.
Money well spent.
The next question, and here's the big thing about all of this. It's not uncommon for a coach to do this, and had it been rookies or young players still on their first contract, I don't think anybody would have said boo. I think it would have all been blown over because you're just it would have been presented as mentoring the young players. Making sure that they didn't do anything untowards, because we have had some kerfluffles. Logan MacLeod, whatever, dude from another country that was going to be drafted. He actually did get drafted, even though he asked not to be. He was brought up on charges because apparently he had consensual relations with a female, but took photos, and that was not okayed by her. And then he shared those photos with people.
Yes. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, so he asked not to be drafted, and then the Canadians took him at the end of the first round anyway.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, whatever. The point about all of this is, it could have been seen as, hey, there are some things that you should not do, so let me see your photo rolls to make sure that you don't have some stupid crap on there that potentially
you don't have pictures of drugs on your phone, right?
Yeah,
Hold on.
Yeah, or that could leak out and become a media issue. But he was apparently doing it to like Johnny Gaudreau and Boone Jenner and veterans, and that's kind of a no-no. So the other flip on this now is, knowing his history, Jarmo Kekalainen, the GM of the Blue Jackets, hired him anyway. Does this reflect on Kekalainen, and does the team president now axe Kekalainen?
I don't know. It's above my pay grade.
It's well above mine too, but it is an interesting thing that we'll have
It
to.
is a weird. It's still an interesting question.
We'll have to keep an eyeball on it. Now, we do have a piece of football news before we get to the really sad news. And the piece of football news is Chris Jones is back. Actually, there's kind of two pieces of football news. Chris Jones is back. He has agreed to a deal with the Chiefs that has brought him back in. I think we mentioned the Bosa deal last week.
We did.
But Chris Jones has agreed to a deal that is also making him quite a bit of money. I believe it is still only a one-year deal, but they have agreed to terms to increase his pay, and he was back for this game.
Yes.
On a side note, his brother Chandler, I believe they are brothers. I think there's three of them, to be totally honest.
Very possible.
Anyway, Chandler is being odd. It looks like he's gone to the Antonio Brown Jr. school of fuckery.
Wouldn't shock me.
Apparently the team, the Raiders, sent a crisis specialist from the team to his residence recently on bequest of an ex? I don't know. And then he said something recently about he wants to play... Where did I see it? He wants to play with his brother, but Marky Mark has a secret that only I know. Something... Yeah, it's off the rails now, man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's something wrong with him. I don't know if he's taken one too many hits while playing. But there's something there that I don't know what... I don't know how this is all going to shake out, but now it's entertaining and I want popcorn.
Yeah, I don't... All I know is it's just like everything else, where it's a lot of wait and see. Because
it's also...
it could be a lot of nothing, or it could be a lot of somebody has some types of issues.
It's also the Raiders, so it's completely expected at this point.
The Raiders just gonna do what they do, which is somehow play football still.
And then the last bit of news, which I think is the sad news. Aaron Rodgers' season has come to an end. After...
Probably.
There was some news about that today. After all of 70 seconds? 74 seconds?
Roughly. It was
something like that.
Plays.
It's about 4 plays. He tore his Achilles tendon, and...
The left one, to be specific.
The left one, on a tackle, and immediately there was a call for all the fields to be replaced with artificial turf because this happened because it was on grass. I think that's crap. I don't think that's the reason. It happened.
No, that field is shit, though. To be
That
fair,
field
like,
is
everyone
garbage.
has everyone has acknowledged that field is in general just fucking shit.
Yeah, and it needs to be. That one in particular you could probably replace with turf, and it would be safer for everyone.
Yeah.
Because they don't maintain the field very well.
No.
But there are certain grass fields that are incredibly well maintained.
Yes.
That is not one of them, sadly.
No.
But Rodgers' season is done, probably. He has said that should the Jets make the playoffs, he could be back in time to quarterback for the playoffs.
This is due to apparently a new specific type of surgery that basically, from my understanding, is that it's supposed to basically put a plate in that's supposed to help the healing process, not put strain on the tendon.
Yeah.
So that way it can heal quicker. Or at least that's the theory.
That's the theory.
And so instead of it being like what's typically mostly a full year process, could cut it down by like 4 months, basically.
Yeah.
So he could, in theory, be back in January at the soonest. I mean, the odds are still not likely for that, but
no, and
theoretically,
currently the way the Jets are playing today, the odds are very unlikely they're going to make the playoffs.
Man, they started hot though. Man, they started good. Man.
Which will lead into something else we'll talk about. All right, so let's talk about the Sunday night game first from week 1.
Right. I forgot about that game.
I think the Giants fans want to forget about that game.
Oh, that one. Yes, that was Sunday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the Sunday night game.
Gosh, that feels like forever ago already.
The Giants, I think, want to forget that game happened.
To be fair, they basically didn't show up anyways, so...
No, and it took them an entire half to shake that off this week.
Yeah. They almost
yeah,
got
we'll get to that.
Cards.
But
that was
the Giants got shellacked 40-0 by the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football last week. Oof. That was bad. Gano missed 2 field goals.
Mm-hmm.
And hurt his kicking ankle.
Mm-hmm.
He was back today, though. We'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys' defense looked amazing. Dak Prescott looked good. The whole thing seemed to run at full tilt, and it played incredibly well. I don't have anything else to say about that.
I don't know what the Jets did to piss off the football gods, but man, they just
the Jets just can't have anything nice. So moving on to the Monday night game.
Granted, the Jets I think got screwed worse. So anybody that lives in New York was just not having a good time.
Yeah, well, moving on to the Monday night game, the Jets lost Rodgers after 4 plays and still somehow managed to win the game.
That's true.
Against the Bills.
We got that prediction right just by sheer happenstance.
That defense fucking robbed Josh Allen 3 times.
Granted, 2 of them were kind of definitely his fault, but
Yeah, and Breece Hall. That guy right there, and Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. Yep.
Garrett Wilson are the reasons that the Jets actually won that game. Without them, they were and that defense, they were toast.
Wasn't enough this week.
Whoa, no, it was definitely not enough this week. Considering that for the longest of times, I'll tell you, I looked at his stats, 31 of 38 for Dak. He almost never missed.
Yeah.
And there's a whole string. He started the game like 10 of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
I don't like it.
We'll get to that because there's some other things that are being talked about now. In fact, we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that now because we did get that right. We both got the Giants wrong because I think we both picked the Giants to beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah, I think that's our worst pick yet.
Probably.
And that's right up there with the Steelers one where they only scored 3 points.
That's true, and I didn't even pick that one.
Actually, you did.
Wait, no, we did. We did pick that one. Oh, shit. Oh, God.
We're not doing good
That wasn't
this
much better. No, that was pretty bad.
All right.
2 real big stickers in week 1.
All right. Let's talk about this week, though. And do we want to wait and talk about the Thursday night game later, or do we want to just get it out of the way?
I mean, it was the first game played for week 2, so we should talk about it as the first game of week 2.
Let's talk about it then. Eagles Vikings. The Eagles do win by like 6 points.
It was like 35-28, I think, or something like that.
Something like that. It was actually closer. 34-28.
34-28.
It was closer than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I thought it was going to be pretty close, actually, but...
when you lose 4 fumbles, one of which is the dumbest rule in sports...
I don't know if I'd say the dumbest, but it's definitely dumb.
I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Listen,
we were only down 13-7 at the half.
That type of fumble and the way they rule that is just like I sort of get it. But at the same time, it's not something you see very often for a reason, because it's not something that, you know, it's such a fluky thing. Like, think about it from any other perspective. If you cross the plane with the football, like the minute you cross the plane, it's no longer, you know, like if you fumble the ball, it doesn't matter, right?
The problem
this is the one weird situation where it does actually matter, and it's only because it went out of bounds at the same time. So it's so.
The one weird situation is he lost control of the football before it crossed the plane, and then it crossed the plane and went out of bounds out of the end zone.
At the same time. Like, it's just... It's... In general, I think a touchback there, in general, like... And even in this situation, it's the most ridiculous example. But I think in general, the idea of it is just kind of stupid.
Well, and the big reason why I hate it, if it were more
the defense
consistent,
didn't earn that.
No, hold on. If it were more consistent, I would be less angry about it. So, generalistically, we should bring this up. Generalistically, if you fumble and the ball goes out of bounds, the team that fumbled keeps the football.
Yeah.
The only difference is if you fumble in the end zone and it goes out of bounds, it's a touchback and the other team gets the ball. If you fumbled the ball out of bounds and then the other team got it,
yeah.
If that rule was consistent across the board, it would be a stupid rule, but at least it would be consistent and I would be less angry. It's the fact that in this one specific instance, the defense gets rewarded for bullshit.
Yeah, like they didn't earn that.
For anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, was it the end of the first half? Or was it the end of the third quarter?
It was near the end of the first half.
It was near the end of the first half. Justin Jefferson... ball near the goal line. We could probably score. It reaches the ball out to try to reach it over the pylon, loses control of the ball, and it fumbles and goes out of the end zone, out of bounds. Touchback, Eagles football. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And I will say that all of the fumbles were bad. The one where the
all of them were bad. Yeah,
the one where the O-line got pushed into the backfield and bumped into Kirk, who fumbled the football.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think the game changes, but do I think the outcome is the same? There's a very good chance the outcome ends up with the Eagles still end up winning. But it's the point. It's just another rule that's just once in a while rears its head and you just go, that's dumb. And why is that still a thing? We should probably look at changing that. And it will get changed inevitably because people are going to be like, hey, that is kind of stupid. Maybe we should look at it. But why is it still a thing? It doesn't...
Because it doesn't come into play often enough for fans to get mad
about. I know,
about.
But I feel like every several years, like, a committee of people, like, for the NFL especially, should sit down and look, okay, let's look over the rules. Is there anything here that doesn't fucking make sense anymore?
They look
from the fucking 50s.
So they look at a rule book every year, but they only look at rules that the general managers and the owners bring forward as potentially needing change. Or that the NFL Safety Commission says, hey, we should do this for the good of safety of the game.
Yeah, and that's my problem, is that there should be like a point where they just go, okay, it's been a while since we've just gone through all of the rules and go, okay, do we still need some of these rules even in place anymore? Are some of them a moot point at this point? Because there are definitely a lot of rules that are just
Now,
And
considering
we're gonna get to another one later because there is another fucking rant
I
I
know the
have,
one you're
by the
talking
way.
about. The other fumbles though, like I look at those and I think that really fucked us because you had the punt returner who fumbled inside what would have been basically on top of the red zone.
Yeah,
He had a great return and then put the ball on the dart right at the end of the return. And then we had just held them. They had gotten a punt. We had gotten that back. Or we had intercepted or something. We had done something miraculous. And we went, oh no, they had fumbled and we had recovered.
Yeah, they fumbled it again.
And then we immediately give the ball to the running back who immediately puts it on the ground.
Again, yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was like the ball was a greased pig or something.
Pretty much.
But yeah, the Vikings lose that game. I did pick them to lose and pick the Eagles to win. Chris did pick the Vikings out of hatred of the Eagles and hope that the Vikings could turn their season around. Do we want to talk about the rumors now, or do we want to wait until the Jets game?
I mean, there's no reason to talk about the rumors at all because they're just baseless rumors, but that's fine.
Well, I want to bring them up because I think they're going to gain some steam after today's performance.
I don't think they will because there's no... From their standpoint, it doesn't make sense to. Put it that way.
I mean, it depends, because we know that he's only got a year left. So, there's been chatter. It is pretty baseless, but there is some talk around the league that the Jets are trying to potentially trade for Cousins.
Which I don't even think is true at all, because the Jets, one, don't need to, because here's the thing. If their season turns out to be shit, then that also is good for them. It doesn't... They don't need to save their season. They really don't.
They don't.
So it doesn't make any sense for them to.
I mean,
That's
they
what I'm
don't
saying.
because it would give them a top-tier draft pick. But if their chips are all in on the center of the table, and you know you've only got Rodgers for 2 years maybe 3...
Yeah, perfect. And you have a shitty season, and then all of a sudden you get a top-tier quarterback that can just sit for a while. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it all works. I don't know what the Jets are thinking, but that is something that has been brought up, is maybe they pivot and they try to get Cousins so they can at least make the playoffs. And if it works on the behest of Cousins as well, because Cousins gets to show what he can do with a team like that has an offensive line. I don't agree with it either, but it is something that's
because here's the thing, like, their offense is, to be blunt with you, basically our fucking offense. Like, they have the same great weapons in different areas, except for a slightly better running back, and they still have a okay offensive line. Like,
they have a way better defense.
I don't even know if I would call it way better, to be honest. Like, our defense actually did a really good job at holding the Eagles for a while until they just were too tired from being on the field all the goddamn time for Minnesota dropping the damn ball all the damn time.
Well, not just that, but they couldn't stop the run to save their own life.
At some point, yeah, but early on they were good at it. That's what I'm saying, is they just got tired. If you're, as a defense that's supposed to be aggressive like they are,
the problem is
if they're on the field too much, they get tired.
Well, the problem is it led into after halftime where they would have rested. It led into there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't stop the run after that. I don't know if it's because it got in their heads or what the deal was, but
I think
they were very good at stopping like the sweeps and the little flat plays and the dump offs and the stuff like that. Anything that would have been like a little screen or something like that, they ate that.
Yeah, I think there was
as soon as they started running up the middle at them, the Vikings couldn't stop it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there was just a lot of like just demotivating aspects that just slowly deteriorated that
and
team.
We'll see how that plays out for the rest of the season, because we've now started 0-2. 12% of all teams that have started 0-2 have made the playoffs, which means we have an 80% better chance to not make the playoffs than we do to make the playoffs. There was an anomaly last year in the fact that the Bengals started 0-2 and still made the playoffs. They have started 0-2 again this year and will probably still make the playoffs.
Honestly, probably will somehow.
All right.
They were one of the weird outliers.
They always are, but it's Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
We'll get to that, though.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But no, the Vikings did lose. I did win that pick. Moving along the list of games. Raiders at Bills. The Raiders started good, went right down the field and scored.
Yeah, that fell apart so fast.
And then the Bills took them out behind the woodshed and beat the snot out of them.
They went, hey.
You're the Raiders.
We lost last week, and we're going to take it out on you.
And that's more or less what happened. The Bills took it out on the Raiders, and it did not look pretty.
No, it didn't.
It was ugly. It was nasty. Josh Allen looked really good. And Jimmy G did not.
No.
He did have an interesting play, though, where he threw the ball, and it was batted or tipped, and it went up in the air. And rather than try to catch it or let it be intercepted, he jumped up and batted it down. Which, good heads-up play, buddy.
I mean, I guess.
But, overall, blah. Final score of that game, Bills 38, Raiders 10.
Yeah.
Ravens at Bengals. This game was closer than I thought it was going to end up being. Because watching it early on, it was obvious that Burrow didn't have it. Lot of little dump-off passes, a lot of little piddling crap, and it didn't look like he had any confidence in throwing the ball deep.
Yeah.
And then he came to life. And the Bengals did too. And Burrow stopped looking scared and started flinging the ball around. He would go 27 of 41 for 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. T. Higgins would catch 8 balls for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's what I was going to do. Lamar also had a good game, as did Gus Edwards. So, the Ravens do win 27-24, which means I got that right and you were wrong in picking the Bengals. Although, not by much, and they almost pulled that one out.
Mm-hmm.
So there was almost a flip-flop there. I'm not mad, but that was a good game.
It was.
Chiefs at Jaguars. We both picked the Jaguars, and sadly, we were both wrong. Although, again, Jaguars gave the Chiefs all they wanted.
Mm-hmm. They kept it close.
Final score, Chiefs 17, Jaguars 9. Jaguars could not put the ball in the end zone.
They really couldn't.
Not for lack of trying, though. And holy good God. Look, I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I am so glad to see friggin' Calvin Ridley back on the field. He only had 2 catches in this one. He had 8 targets, only caught 2 of them. But one of them he caught, I was like, how did you come down with that? Right before the half.
Mm-hmm.
That was an amazing thing. It actually gave them, they went into the half at 6 for the Jags and 7 for the Chiefs. It was really close, a lot closer than I think people expected it to probably be. Christian Kirk, though, 11 catches on 14 targets for 110 yards. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
However, the Chiefs do win because they have the living cheat code that is Patrick Mahomes. 29-41, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Sky Moore, 3 catches, 70 yards. Travis Kelce, 4 for 26 and a touchdown.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. And then he punted his touchdown into the stands.
He did.
So, and Kadarius Toney actually caught balls today.
He did.
I was amazed. Welcome back, Kadarius Toney, to finding the land of the relevant. As Kadarius Toney was targeted 5 times and caught all 5 of them for 35 yards.
Someone finally gave him the glue.
Apparently, they found glue for him. Chargers at Titans. We both picked the Chargers. We were both wrong.
It was a close game, though.
It was 27-24. Titans win it in overtime. Somehow the Chargers, again, find a way to blow it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it because I know you're thinking it.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Staley, welcome to the hot seat.
How?
You have a magnificent... Look, I also get it. Eckler didn't play today, so you have to factor that in. But you have your full defense. And how are you losing this? You have 3 wide receivers that are transcendent. You have a quarterback who can throw the ball and has a cannon for an arm and can get out of the pocket and move around. How are you losing this?
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't think he's going to be around much longer.
At this rate, it won't be.
At this rate, he won't be. Packers at Falcons. I picked the Packers. You picked the Falcons. You would prove me right as Younghoe Koo kicks the last-second field goal for the Falcons to beat the Packers 25-24. Desmond Ridder looked really good in this game.
Oh, yeah. He's looking comfortable,
19 of 32 for 237 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. He also ran the ball quite well. He got out and he ran 10 times for 39 yards and a touchdown. Drake London got involved in the offense today. 6 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Bijan Robinson, 19 carries, 124 yards. He also caught 4 balls for 48 yards.
Yeah, he's looking like he was the steal of the draft almost.
Yeah. Now we know why the Falcons took him. Like, I was never mad that they took Bijan Robinson. I was confused.
I was a little confused, but now I like.
No, yeah, no,
I guess
that's the weapon
nothing.
right there. You guys have won. And the Falcons have now started 2-0.
And who would have saw that coming at the beginning?
Who saw that coming? On the flip side, Jordan Love, 14 of 25 for 151 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he still looked good. No, not.
Oh,
not
yeah.
gonna lie.
Ran twice for 23 yards. But Aaron Jones did not play.
No.
And I think that did change the complexion of the offense. A.J. Dillon is quite obviously not Aaron Jones.
No.
He only ran 15 times for 55 yards and only caught 1 pass for 8 yards. Yeah, not Aaron Jones. And I think that does change the dynamic of the Packers offense. And
Just a little bit, yeah.
I think if Aaron Jones plays, that result goes the other direction, at least in my mind. But I could be wrong. It's still a good game.
I don't know. That Falcons defense is actually better than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, and Bijan Robinson is a monster. So long as he doesn't get injured this year.
Knock on wood. Yeah.
I just did that. So long as that stays off, he's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. And he probably carries the Falcons. He might carry them to a playoff spot.
I mean, we'll see. I think there's one other player that, as long as he can not be injured anymore, will be.
We're about to get to him here in a little bit.
Potentially could also be in that category, but we'll see.
We'll see. Seahawks, Lions. Seahawks walk it off in overtime, 37-31. We both picked the Lions. We were both wrong.
Hell of a game, though.
Oh, yeah, hell of a game. Now, it's funny because I was listening to because I was watching it a little bit in between runs on Red Zone, and they were talking about the last couple of times they've met, each of those games has been like more than 80 points scored between them. And this one was 68 points. So almost 70 points between them again. It's like every time these two teams meet, it's a barnstormer. They're going to go out there and score points. It doesn't matter how good the other defenses are. They're going to go out there and just barnstorm and score points.
That's crazy.
But yeah, this one went to overtime. The Seahawks did win it in overtime. Sadly, DK Metcalf did leave early with a rib injury. I think somebody else also got hurt from the Lions side. Was it Montgomery?
I don't know if he was out for a long term, but I think he did get a little banged up.
A little dinged up.
Yeah, I think he got an ankle twist. His ankle got twisted up.
Yep. However, still a great game. The Lions I'm still going to say they're legit.
Yeah, they are still very legit. This was more of an indictment to me being wrong on Geno. He's apparently still looks like Geno from last year, but let's see if he can be consistent still.
Yeah,
he still he's obviously can still unlock that potential, but week 1 was rough. So is this just more of a consistency issue, or did he just have a bad start?
All right, moving on down the chain. Colts, Texans. I picked the Colts.
Man.
You picked the Texans.
You know, I'll say this. The game, I think, was actually closer than the score looked based on what I watched. Because both teams played actually really quite well. But the Colts definitely ended up running away with it at some point. And
I mean, this was Stroud's best game.
This was Stroud's best game. This was also Richardson's best game.
Well, up until he got hurt. So let's talk about that real quick.
The thing is, even if we include that, I think it's still better than the game he did last week.
Richardson, 6 of 10, 56 yards, 3 rushes, 35 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sadly, on that second touchdown rush, he gets hit at the end of the run, goes backwards into the end zone, and baps in the back of his helmet and his head right off the ground. Goes out, does not come back. Concussion protocol.
Yep.
So, provided that he can stop banging himself off of crap, he's the other guy we think could be Rookie of the Year. But one plays in the NFC, one plays in the AFC, so you could have one would be Rookie of the Year for the AFC, one would be for the NFC. Speaking of which, Minshew does come in to finish the game. 19 of 23, 171 yards and a touchdown. Played really well.
Played well. Yeah.
Zach
did exactly
Moss,
what his job was. Yeah.
Zach Moss, 18 carries, 88 yards and a touchdown. Played very, very well.
Yeah.
Now, by the other flip side, CJ Stroud, 30 of 47, 384 yards and 2 touchdowns. My guy, well played. Sadly,
Nico
you got
Collins.
no help on the ground from Pierce, who appears whatever he had last year he doesn't have.
I don't know what's going on
15 carries, 31 yards.
Man, his wide receivers were grabbing the ball all the damn time. Nico Collins,
7 catches on 9 targets for 146 yards. Robert Woods, 6 catches on 9 targets for 74. Tank Dell, 7 catches on 10 targets for 72 and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Schultz, 4 catches on 7 targets for 34 yards. Yeah. Metchie the third, only 1 catch for 17.
Finally got the ball, though.
I will say, Tank Dell is looking really good.
If he keeps playing and getting more and more involved, he won't be on my bench for very long.
Nope, probably will not be. Now, they did lose that game, but I think they played a lot better this game than what they did last one. And by the way, them losing out and trying to get a top draft pick doesn't help them at all.
No.
They don't own their pick this year.
No.
Arizona owns their pick. They do own a first-round pick this year.
They do.
They do. I believe it belongs to Cleveland.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. However, Arizona owns their first-round pick this year. Yeah. So if they do really poorly, Arizona potentially could have 2 really high picks and could still trade one of them.
I will get to that, but Arizona, I don't think is the dud we thought they were going to be.
No, they are not going to just roll over and show you their belly.
No.
Okay. Moving right along. Bears, Buccaneers. I believe we both picked the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
And we did. We both picked the Buccaneers. We were both correct. 27-17, Tampa Bay. Baker looked really good.
Baker looked good.
And you know what? For a little bit there, and even
Fields had moments.
he had moments. That first pass down the line to DJ Moore, who, by the way, got fully into this game with 6 receptions for 104 yards.
Yep.
Fields is looking a lot better.
He still looks inconsistent, and that's been my big issue with him. He still seems too inconsistent.
He still seems jumpy.
Yeah.
And that's going to be our big issue.
He'll have drives where he looks amazing, and then he'll come out the next drive and look like he doesn't know what he's doing again.
Yep.
It's so weird.
All right. Giants, Cardinals. We both picked the Cardinals, and for the first, 3 quarters or so of this game, we looked
That's
like
exactly what it looked like it.
We looked like we might be right. For the first, half and then some, we looked right, because this game was 20-0 at the half in favor of the Cardinals, who were just laying it on to the Giants. Then they came out and got 8 points right away and went up 28-7 on the Giants. And then the Giants scored and scored and scored and kept the Cardinals off the board. And the Giants would kick a last-second Graham Gano field goal to win 31-28, completing one of the largest comebacks in New York Giants history. It's obviously not the largest in NFL history because we saw that last year with the Vikings.
We did.
We did. The Cardiac Kids.
Geez, what team was that against?
The Colts.
Ah.
But yeah, they look. Daniel Jones looked pretty good today.
At the beginning, he didn't though.
Oh no, but he figured it out. Jalen Hyatt started getting involved. The Rook started getting involved in finding the ball. Josh Dobbs continues to look impressive running that offense.
Far better than we both expected.
Way better than we both expected. Josh Dobbs, I think, is a much better player than we thought. Not only that dude, 3 runs for 41 yards, and that touchdown run he had, he bowled over a defender getting into the end zone. Drug a dude into the end zone. 21 of 31, 228 yards and a touchdown. Look, Dobbs is a good quarterback.
Dobbs is a good quarterback.
We were making fun of it, and I don't think they're going to be an easy out.
No.
If you try to write them off, you're going to get slapped. I don't know that there are too many easy outs in the NFL right now.
Honestly, I thought it was the Giants for a while there, but then they kind of slapped back. Even the Rams, who we thought were kind of looked a little weak on the edge, they're looking pretty good. The only one maybe, based on this week, would be
the Raiders.
The Raiders, possibly the Jets, but that might be. We'll have to wait on that.
They did play a really good team this week.
They did play a really good team. But outside of that, those...
The Bears?
They're streaky, though, so I wouldn't call that as an easy out just because they're streaky.
Yeah.
Because that means you might show up and they might be really bad and it'll be an easy win. But then you might also show up and they might just be ready to go and you're fucked.
Who I think might be... They're not going to be an easy out, but who you could probably count out is the Chargers.
Panthers maybe, but we kind of have to wait and see on them still.
Yeah, they play on Monday night.
Texans are still
they were a lot
better. They're not easy, but they're still probably not super hard compared to other teams.
The only reason I say the Chargers, I like the Chargers. I want the Chargers to do well. But if there's one team that's going to find a way to shoot itself in the foot and lose the game, it's the Chargers.
God, yeah. Certainly
as we've already mentioned.
Certainly feels that way.
So, moving right along, 49ers, Rams. This game was, again, closer than we thought it was going to be.
I'm shocked that the Rams even were in this game at all.
The Niners actually did win this, 30-23. But Stafford, 34-55, 307 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Brock Purdy, 17 of 25, 206 yards. Christian McCaffrey, 20 carries, 116 yards, and a touchdown. Brock Purdy also got in on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
However, to me, the story of the game is the continuing dominance of Puka Nacua.
Don't forget Kyrie Williams.
Oh, Kyrie Williams did good. 14 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. I'm certainly not going to talk smack about Kyrie Williams. Also, the fact that he had 6 catches for 48 and a touchdown.
Exactly.
He's pretty good.
He's that dual threat, but yeah.
Puka Nacua, 15 for 147 on 20 targets.
Yeah, he was targeted a lot.
I do believe that he currently now holds the record, the NFL record for most catches in his first 2 games as a rookie.
I don't know, but I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, he's playing really well. Tutu Atwell is also playing incredibly well.
Yeah.
Both of those guys are
that
playing...
name's still weird.
Yeah, I love it. Tutu.
Watch out, Tutu's coming for you.
Puka Nacua, though. That dude, I will say outright and honestly, I'm impressed. Puka Nacua.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jets, Cowboys.
Yeah.
Jets 10, Cowboys 30. We had both picked the Jets to win, but in fairness, we had picked the Jets to win before Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles tendon.
True. That is true.
Where I'm not going to allow us to take a mulligan on it. We have to stand by it because shit happens. We don't know that there's going to be injuries going into a game, so we can't. He could have just as easily blown out his Achilles in this game.
True.
The Cowboys, Dak looked really good. Dak's looking a lot better this season than he has recently. The Cowboys' defense looks legit. And Zach Wilson looked like a lost little lamb.
Yeah, at first it was good.
And then it turned into 3 interceptions.
Yep.
Also, it doesn't help that your leading rusher was Zach Wilson with 35 yards. Yeah. Being unable to get Breece Hall going really fucked you. And now the final game of the day has wrapped. Wilson did lead them down to score. And then they failed in the 2-point conversion, which they needed to tie.
Damn.
The Commanders hold on to win that 35-33. I do believe that you had actually picked the Broncos.
I did.
Yep. And I had picked the Commanders. We were both wrong about the Jets, but I did get the Commanders correct. They have won, and they have started 2-0. Sam Howell, 27 of 39, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. Russell Wilson, 18 of 32, 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Marvin Mims Jr., 2 catches, 113 yards, and 1 touchdown. A whole chunk of that came very early on when the Broncos scored. He got behind the defense, and Wilson aired it out and found him deep. I saw that one happen, and I was like, "Oh, there's Mims." Brian Robinson Jr., 18 carries, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns. Scary Terry, 5 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown.
Finally showed up.
Brian Robinson Jr. also caught 2 catches for 2 passes for 42 yards. Yeah. This team and their defense is incredibly frightening. They sacked Russell Wilson 7 times. Yeah. That's frightening. They sacked him 7 times and got 14 hits in on him. And Emmanuel Forbes Jr. picks off his first ball of the year.
Gonna happen eventually.
It's also his first interception as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Commanders do win that. The Broncos put up a good showing. Cortland Sutton, 5 catches, 66 yards. Brandon Johnson, 2 catches, 66, and 2 touchdowns. They played really hard, but they did not, sadly, come away with the win. The Hail Mary at the end of the game, they tried hard, they got there, and then they lost. But that is what it is. You cannot be mad about it, and currently the Dolphins and the Patriots are in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm. They just started.
So that is the end of that week. I do believe I'm ahead of you this week. Again.
You are. I think you're.
We'll have a little thing.
Up,
we'll have a thing up here on each side for the week and for the end of last week that shows how we did on the week. And then right around now, I'll put up our season totals here and over there for you.
I'm pretty sure you're like 3 or 4 ahead of me at this point.
On the season total, probably.
On the season total, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll have season totals. We'll keep a running season total up here, which I'll put up here at the end of the... So keep an eye out up here. Every week at the end, we're going to put a season total, or I'm going to put a season total up there. And we'll keep it running and see who has the better record at the end of the season. I don't know that either of us will have winning records at the end of the season. What did you drop?
Nothing that important, but I got to figure out where it went. One moment.
Yeah, fat boy, get on your knees.
Gross, what the fuck's wrong with you?
A lot, if you want the honest answer.
I'm well aware of that. Doesn't help that we're related, that makes it so much fucking worse.
Don't worry, I'll cut that out. I don't want that on the internet.
Yeah, that would be weird.
All right, let's do the end of our week for this. Let's go ahead and do our Dante's Inferno and our Hit the Showers, and then we'll do game balls for this week, and then we will do our predictions for next week. All righty, you ready?
Yep.
Let's start with Dante's Inferno. You want to start, or you want me to start?
Ooh. I'll start. I'll start.
Ahead.
All right. We have Kirk Cousins. You're sitting at the third circle. It ain't super hot, but man, stop with the fucking turnovers, man. Just stop. Just stop. I know it's not entirely your fault, but some of them are definitely your fault.
Zach Wilson. You're sitting at the third circle. Not just because you stunk up this game, but for the comments you made at the end of last season about how you would make somebody's life hell, and now that person is no longer playing because he tore his Achilles. You got to wear the big boy pants, and you shit in them.
I don't know. He won the first game, though.
I don't think that was all on him, though, and that was a lot of Breece Hall in the defense. He wasn't asked to do a whole lot. This game in which they got a... With this game in which they let the game get away from them early, he was asked to do a lot, and he threw 3 interceptions.
True. And that's true.
Okay, who's your next one?
All right. We got somebody in the fifth circle. His name is Brandon Staley. And
Ooh,
boy,
you're nicer than me.
And boy, like, you're not out of it yet. But it's going to get much hotter, much quicker if this keeps happening. These are not games you should be fucking losing, and you're making a consistent habit of losing these really fucking close games, and eventually People are gonna get tired of it.
I do have somebody in the 6th circle. A lot of somebodies. The NFL Competition Committee. Welcome to the 6th circle of hell. Of Dante's Inferno.
Can I ask why?
Because your rule book fucking sucks.
True. That's true.
Look, you need to review some of these shit-ass rules that have been around on the books forever and no longer make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, actually. That's pretty reasonable, actually. Yeah.
Alright.
All right. And now we're gonna go back up. I'm I normally do them in descending order, but I just can't. I can't put this person this low because it just is. Joe Burrow, you're sitting in the first circle. It's not. It's slightly warm. It's lukewarm, but like, come on, man. You can't be doing this, man. You can't be doing this.
My last one, and I did mine in descending order. Brandon Staley. My dude, you are in the 10th circle. You are burning.
You basically want him fired now. That's what that tells me.
Yes! He going back. How do you... So, if I look at how he ended last season, where in the first half of a game, you picked off a quarterback 4 times and then allowed them to come back on you. And now you've managed to find a way to lose 2 really close games. I don't know why they brought you back. This team is better than what you are. This team is a Ferrari engine inside of a fucking
Ford Focus?
Volkswagen minivan. Or it's a 4-banger inside of a Ferrari. It's an inline 4 inside of a Ferrari. Me. You are the restrictor plate on this team. And you need to go.
I mean, I wasn't gonna go that harsh on it that quick.
No,
but I mean,
I'm going that harsh that quick. I'm done with him.
He doesn't have too many
Crumple
long.
him up, throw him away. I'm done with him.
He's only got a couple weeks left for me, so we'll see. We'll see.
All right, hit the showers.
All right. Do you want to go first or me?
I could go first.
All right.
The NFL rulebook. Hit the showers.
God damn it! That was one of mine. Fuck. That was gonna be the first one I went with.
Soak that sucker down. Get rid of it. It's time for a new one. Enter the digital age, please.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, Joe Burrow hit the showers, my guy. That was you started to come back, but like too little, too late. Come on.
The Vikings' run defense. Hit the showers.
You
can complain that it was that they got worn down, but they never seemed to get back on the schneid at all.
No, they didn't.
When you let DeAndre Swift run for that many yards on you, and they literally had a drive that was nothing but DeAndre Swift running the ball down the field.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That was pretty much
Vikings run defense hit the showers. Figure that out, my dudes.
That's fair. That's fair. Zach Wilson, you should probably hit the showers, my guy.
That's fair. I had him in my pits, so I tried not to throw him in my showers.
Yeah, yeah.
Chandler Jones. Hit the showers.
Yeah.
Maybe hit the showers and take your Twitter account and your Instagram with you and just run it under some water to get rid of it.
Just forget about it for a while.
Forget about it for a while. Maybe go silent. Like, go relax in a tub somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Probably true. Oh, boy. Well, now I gotta think of a new last one because I was gonna do the rule book, and now I can't. I don't want to do that. So. Who let me down the most this week? Let me think about this for a second now. Well, you know what? Alexander Madison, why don't you hit the showers, my guy? You haven't done shit for 2 weeks. Get your shit together or move out.
I can't disagree with that. I thought he was going to be better than what he has been because every time he spelled and had to play for an injured
Cook, yeah, he's
Cook,
looked good
he's been
whenever he's had to.
awesome, but you handed him the starting reins, and now he's like,
I forgot what to do.
I forgot what a football is. Should I put it on the ground over here? Okay.
My bad. I've dropped the ball twice now.
All right.
Ugh.
From one extreme to the other, game balls.
Game balls. You want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right, I'll go. Nico Collins. Here's a game ball, my guy.
That's a fair one. My first one, Bijan Robinson.
Yeah,
My
good
bro,
choice,
here's a
good
game
choice.
ball. That was a game.
That was good. Yeah, that was good. Speaking of Desmond Ritter, how about you enjoy a game ball yourself?
Fair enough. Josh Allen. Here's a game ball. Redemption
That's fair.
game. Well done. 3 touchdowns instead of 3 interceptions.
You know what? Just because you had one really freaky catch, Ridley, have a ball.
My last one is also a receiver. Puka Naka.
Ah,
Puka Nakua. Game ball. 15 catches, my dude? At some point, I gotta wonder if you're contractually like, if friggin'
Gets paid per catch.
Are you paid per catch? Are you paying a kickback to Stafford? Is Stafford contractually obligated to throw you the ball 20 times a game?
Maybe it's because he's the only wide receiver that he can trust to actually catch the ball.
Who was it? The Panthers receiver, the little one. When I say the little one, you know exactly who I'm talking about too.
Yeah, I'm having a big old brain fart on that.
Steve Smith.
Yes.
There was a season where literally the Panthers' passing offense was Steve Smith. Like, they threw him the ball like 30 times a game. It was seriously hilarious. And there was this question of like, is there something in his contract that says that he has to catch all the balls now?
No one else is allowed to touch the ball. It's only him.
No one else is allowed to catch the football. So, yeah. Right now, the Dolphins currently lead 3-0 over the Patriots. We'll keep an eye on how that game goes. But I do believe that it is time for us to look ahead at Week 3.
Let's go ahead and do our predictions for Week 3.
Let's go ahead and do our predictions for Week 3.
I don't have a lot of faith in my picks anymore at this point.
Whereas I'm doing pretty well, so I feel pretty good about myself.
Everything I thought I knew was a lie.
Well, we'll start with an easy one. As much as they did impress me today, Giants at 49ers.
You know, the Giants could sneakily win that game, but I'm still sticking with the 49ers.
As am I. As much as they impressed me today, it's the fucking 49ers.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I don't know what to make of this one. Chargers at Vikings.
Oh no. Oh god.
Do we say that the Vikings are somehow cursed enough to get screwed on this, or and going to put the ball on the turf four times,
or the Chargers more cursed
or
because
the
they
Chargers
have Brandon Staley.
is Brandon Staley going to find a way to fuck this up for the Chargers?
Oh. You know, if we want Brandon to be gone and get fired, I'm betting on the Vikings to win because Brandon can't do this anymore. And if it has to be the Vikings, it has to be the Vikings. I'm going Vikings just because I'm just hoping. I'm crossing my fingers at this point.
I'm going to pick the Chargers just because I think the Vikings curse is worse than the Chargers.
I hope you're wrong.
I want to be wrong. I don't think I am.
If you're not, our season is going to go
Our
tank
season is pretty much
quick.
toast at that point.
Yeah, our season is going to tank. We'll be the easy win.
Yeah. Colts at Ravens.
This is actually a tough one only because it's hard to gauge how good Richardson was going to be. I mean, if we go based on how he played before the concussion.
Let's also point out he may not
Yeah.
clear protocol and may not be able to play.
Normally, most often than not, a week is enough time to clear protocol, but it doesn't always happen.
Usually, but
Normally, it's within a couple of days, actually. But, yes. But the Ravens are playing pretty consistent football, actually.
they are.
And their defense has been pretty good. Yeah, I want to pick Colts, but I'm gonna go against my gut, and I'm gonna actually pick the Ravens.
I will also pick the Ravens. It's just something in me says that while the Colts will probably put up a fight, I think the
I just don't think it's enough. Yeah,
I just don't think it'll be enough, and it's Lamar.
that's kind of where I'm coming from too. I just don't think that it's enough, and it's still early Ravens before they have injury issues.
Titans at Browns.
So the problem is we obviously haven't seen the Browns play this week, so we don't know how the Browns are going to look 100%.
The Titans are starting to look better. It looks
They are
like
starting to look
Tannehill
better,
is starting to.
but Tennessee, I was going to say Tennessee's starting to look better too, so it's going
That's
to
what
be...
I'm saying. The Titans are looking better. They're starting to find. Tannehill is starting to find and connect with Hopkins more.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have a training camp together.
Derrick Henry looked a lot better this week too.
Yep.
Oof. The problem is not seeing the Browns game this week yet makes this a little harder because it's kind of hard to gauge that. I think I'll go Titans though. I'll go Titans.
I think I'll stick Browns.
Okay.
I can see where you're coming from, and either way, I think this is going to be a very close game.
It's going to be close, yeah. I don't think it's going to be a blowout unless like somebody gets injured or something.
Broncos at Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Look,
They just have such a high-powered offense.
Yeah,
Even though we haven't watched them play this week, I still have a hard time believing against the Dolphins at this point.
I agree with you 100%. Patriots at Jets.
Patriots looked pretty good week one. We haven't seen them play yet. They're playing now.
They're playing right now.
I have a feeling, though, based on how the Jets is going, I'm going to actually go Patriots.
I agree with you.
Because, again, Belichick defense with a Zach Wilson at the helm.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, that's going to be a hard sell.
Bills at Commanders.
I think this game's going to be sneakily closer than people expect because the Commanders' defense
I agree. I think the Commanders
really
are a lot better than people think they are.
But I'm still picking the Bills.
As well.
That's a big hurdle to ask for the Commanders still.
It is still a big hurdle, but the Commanders are getting better, and in a year or two, that's a Commanders win.
Very possibly, yeah.
Falcons at Lions.
This is a game that's going to be... This is, again, a game that it's going to actually be pretty close.
And there's going to be a lot of points in this one.
But I'm picking the Falcons here.
I'm taking the Lions.
That's fair.
Not because I don't believe in the Falcons. I absolutely
yeah.
do. But that Lions defense is better than Green Bay's.
Yeah, they're good.
I think their offense is better than Green Bay's.
Remember, they did just get torn by Seahawks. So, I mean...
In overtime. They took that game to overtime, and the Seahawks are better than what we thought they were.
Yeah, but I think that the Falcons, had a similar enough offense that they can figure out the Lions' defense. That's just my feeling, though.
Possibly. but I also feel like the Lions are going to come in mad.
Possibly. We'll see.
We'll see how that goes. That's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yep.
Saints at Packers. We haven't seen the Saints
Gosh, we
play
haven't
this
seen the
week.
Saints yet. But the first week didn't look great. Packers, as much as I hate to choose them, have been looking still good. Even though they lost, they barely lost to a Falcons.
Yeah,
So I think it's hard not to pick the Packers here. So unfortunately, that's my choice.
I agree with you.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I hate picking the Packers 3 weeks in a row. I want to be wrong again.
I'm glad I was right. I'm happy.
I'm happy you were too. Texans at Jaguars.
You know, this game might actually be a pretty competitive game, but I still feel like the Jaguars should win that game.
They should win
and that's
that
where
game.
I'm going to go.
If they don't, they have issues, and they need to pump the brakes and figure out what's wrong.
Yep.
Panthers at Seahawks.
Sadly, we haven't seen the Panthers play, so we don't know if they are going to have a big jump forward from what they had last week. But from what I've seen of them so far, not impressed, so I am going to go Seahawks.
I'm also going Seahawks. But that's not based because we haven't seen the Panthers play this week. That's based because I just watched them play the Lions, who beat the Chiefs last week, and they played incredibly well. They got up for the game. So
yeah,
I think they'll play well. Cowboys at Cardinals.
This one makes me gross. I want to pick the Cardinals because I also don't like the Cowboys, but I think the Cowboys are just really good this year, sadly.
I think the Cowboys are really good this year. Although the Cardinals will give them a scare, I think.
I think so, but I think Cowboys still.
I think the Cowboys win as well.
Yeah.
Bears at Chiefs. Do we even need...
It's Chiefs, for goodness sake. That's not even... If the Bears somehow win that game, then we know the Bears have really fluky, weird issues.
Yeah, I agree. We're both picking the Chiefs on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Steelers at Raiders.
We haven't seen the Steelers play this week, but we did see the Raiders play this week, and so I'm picking Steelers.
Based on everything going on in Raiderland, I agree with you. And 2 Monday night games. The early Monday night game at 6:15. Eagles at Bucks.
I mean, probably the Eagles still, though. I don't like it, but it's probably the Eagles.
I agree with you. Like, the Bucks are playing well, but I don't think they can keep up with the Eagles. And I think it's only a matter of time before Hurts finds his stride again.
Yeah.
The late game. Rams at Bengals.
I don't actually know. The Rams are still looking pretty hot. The Bengals are not. They looked better this week, but then we know that Burrow retweaked his calf again. So is he even going to play, let alone is he going to be 100%? Probably not even 100% if he does play. I think I'm actually going to go Rams.
I will agree with you.
I don't like it, though.
I don't like it either. I don't like betting against Joe Burrow, but again,
yeah,
it's...
I've done that 2 weeks in a row, and it's hurt me 2 weeks in a row. So, I mean, at some point, I have to ask myself, is this a relationship I want to continue? You've hurt me twice now.
I feel you, man. All right, so we do have all of that set and ready for rumbling for next week. I do think that is some interesting stuff. I think it's been an interesting day and week of football. I am very disappointed in the Vikings, but if we go to 0-3, I'm just writing off our... That's the other reason why I thought that trade made sense in a terminology, because the Vikings, at that point, let's just tank the
Again,
season.
it doesn't. Again, it still doesn't make sense for the Jets, though. It feels like a waste of money to try to save a season that doesn't matter if you save it or not.
I can get that.
Like, because it's not like they have any players that they're absolutely going to lose at the end of the season. Be like, oh no! If only we would have had another quarterback in for this season, we might have won a Super Bowl. Like, not that's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, with without that context, there feels no reason for them to have to really try to save their
We'll
season,
see,
in my
though,
opinion.
because I do think that if we go 0-3 and we continue to fall, and we're like 2-6 at the trade deadline, depending on injuries and everything else,
I
I
just
think
don't
Kirk
think
could
you're
be on the
gonna
way
have
out.
any partners. I just don't think you have anybody you can.
It will again. That's going to depend on injuries and who's like, oh, we were doing good and then we lost blank, and we could totally make a run this year.
Yeah, maybe. I just don't. I don't see anyone willing to take on that trade. I just don't see it.
We'll see. There, we could, you could. We'll have to see how that plays out. I don't
Plus
see anybody willing to
KOC
take that
and
on too either. But
also, but the thing is, you also have to remember that KOC and Adolfo Mensa are also the type of people that they've made it clear that they prefer like the competitive rebuild, and trading Cousins at that point would be the opposite of what would be considered a competitive rebuild.
well,
It would
it'd
be
be
very much the we're tanking. Like,
the reason why I would say that you might think about it at that point, even though you prefer a competitive rebuild, if it is clear that isn't working, you have to pull the plug and just.
yeah, but you can wait until the end of the year too. Like, unless you think you can get something worthwhile out of it,
Well,
which I
that's what I was
just don't.
saying. If you could get
And I just don't
something.
think you can. I just don't think Kirk. If at that point we are 2-6, that means that Kirk's got to he devalues himself even though. At that point, you're probably not even
Maybe,
going to
but
get
maybe
anything for
not,
him.
because what if it's still fluky, like we keep losing the fumbles, or he's not throwing interceptions, he's getting good stats, but it's just weird shit that just doesn't go our way. Where everything went our way last season, nothing
Again,
goes our
I
way this
just
season, and you can't really
yeah, but
blame Kirk.
no, but a lot of people will still look at it as like, especially if you have a lot of turnovers on the offense, as why is the QB not able to lead that team still? There's still gonna be a question marks of
Yeah,
leadership.
yeah.
I just don't. As much as I like, listen, don't get me wrong. I would love the idea of being able to trade Kirk Cousins and get some type of value in return for it, based on the fact that have definitely overpaid what we've gotten. He's not a bad QB, but he's definitely overpaid. There's no questions on that. I just don't think there's any team that would be willing to trade him for a value that would make any sense for us. If that makes that's the way I'm
Well,
putting
and
it.
again, we'll have to see
You know,
how the rest of the season develops for
at the
other
moment,
teams.
that's
Yeah,
at the
we'll have to
moment that's
see
the
how
way.
other teams develop the season. Remember, he does only have 1 year left, so if you're in a Super Bowl or bust mindset this year, which some teams may be.
I don't think there really is too many teams in that mindset at the moment. To be honest with you, I think the Jets were in that moment, but they don't necessarily have to be because it's not like they have Rodgers for the 1 year.
Yeah, Rodgers has
If it
made it clear that
was,
he wants at least two. If they
yeah,
didn't know if Rodgers was going to be back or anything like that, I honestly feel like then
they
you
might be more willing to. Yeah,
yeah.
I
But
would
when
agree with that.
Rodgers has
But
already
they're
made his intentions that he is definitively going to be back,
yeah,
I agree with you on that. The fact that, okay, you probably got, you don't absolutely need to do it, but would it be helpful? Probably. And we'll have to
maybe
see
it
if
depends on if they want the draft
injuries.
pick instead.
Yeah, we'll have to see if injuries take somebody else out that a team
Yeah,
was hoping that would lead them somewhere. Like, I don't know. I
I
don't know.
guess if Brock Purdy goes down,
I was gonna say, but Darnold
but
has
they have
looked,
Darnold's actually
yeah,
looked
and
pretty
Darnold
decent.
was
I don't.
looking decent. So,
Jalen Hurts goes down. Who's their backup right now?
I don't know.
Well, there you go. Maybe
That'd
there. I don't
probably
know.
be that'd probably be one there that I could see. If Hertz went down, they'd try to find a way to finagle enough stuff around to get, because they are an
Yeah,
older
because
team, and after this season, I think that a lot
some
of
of that's gonna go away.
some of that's
Yeah,
going to go away. It's going to retire. So
yeah.
they might be in a Super Bowl or bust mode. Which that's the one thing. If somehow Hertz gets submarined,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
might also be for the Bengals too, because This might be their last year with T. Higgins. So if Burrow really does get submarined,
maybe that's possible.
That's
I don't
I don't see
think
that as likely as the Eagles, but
yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just not too many teams that are really like the Rams were a couple of years ago, where it was like clearly like this is your one and done season. Yeah, but they have Lance as their backup now. Like
yeah, but if they were to so Dak goes out, Lance comes in, can't get it done, doesn't look very good, still has issues.
Maybe they would, but I don't know if they're in a tight enough situation where they want to pull that trigger.
Yeah,
for it,
I don't know
maybe.
either.
I don't know.
The point is, again, the positive.
I guess it would also depend on where they're at in the season, if they still think they even have a playoff chance at all.
Yeah.
You know.
Now the negative would be that Cousins does have a large cap hit. The positive would be that he's only got a season, and then you can clear him from your books.
Still, like a lot of teams, that's the other problem, is that not a lot of teams have enough cap space just to begin with to even bring them on.
So we'll have to find out. We'll keep an eye on it, because if the Vikings go 0-3, this season is officially off the rails.
I don't know. I don't know if I would say that bad, because I know the Vikings, from my understanding, our front season is more difficult than our back end. So I don't know if I want to write it off completely.
Our whole season is difficult, dude.
Well, yeah, but I meant as in I think the early half is supposed to be harder than the back half. I could be wrong on that.
Hold on. I will tell you what the rest of the schedule looks like for Minnesota. You ready?
Yeah, I know.
All right, we play the Chargers.
Yeah.
Then we travel to play the Panthers.
That one's going to be, should be a winnable
Then we
game.
host the Chiefs.
That's obviously going to be tough.
We play at the Bears.
That should be winnable.
We host the Niners.
That's going to be tough.
We play at the Packers.
That's going to be
tough.
Kind of tough. Probably tough.
We play at the Falcons.
That's actually going to be tough.
We host the Saints.
We'll have to wait and see on the Saints on still.
We play at the Broncos.
That's probably going to be tough, actually.
We host the Bears.
Again, win. Winnable.
We play at the Raiders.
Winnable.
We play at the Bengals.
Depends on where they're at, but tough probably.
We host the Lions.
Tough.
We host the Packers.
Tough.
We play at the Lions.
Tough. Yeah.
This is not an easy schedule, my guy.
No.
There's a couple of games in there where you go, oh yeah, we'll probably beat the Bears twice, and we'll probably beat the Panthers. We should beat the Raiders.
Should.
Everything else is... ouch.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm like, it really depends on how things go. I just don't know if I want to write it off completely. It's 0-3, but it's definitely getting to that point where you're starting to rub your hands and go, this isn't good. Like, I don't start writing it off until you start going 0-4, 0-5. Once you get to that point, then you're just going, okay, this is...
I mean, I would start writing it off about 1-4, 1-5, which...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
which
still
I
not...
think is where we're gonna... If we go 0-3 this week, we'll probably beat the Panthers next week. Yeah. I'd say probably.
Probably.
And then I think we're going to lose the next two, if I'm right, because I believe it was the Chiefs. Was it the Chiefs and the Niners back to back?
I don't remember if it was back to back, but they were pretty damn close to each other.
We'll go 1-4 if we lose this week. We'll go 1-4 because we'll have to play the Chiefs. Then we'll win against the Bears and be at 2-4, and then we'll lose to the Niners and be at 2-5.
Yeah.
And at that point...
Not completely lost, but it's definitely not looking good.
No, you're pretty much done for the season at that point.
You're not quite out of it yet, but you'd have to pretty much start winning out, and that's going to be pretty tough at that
Yeah,
schedule.
I don't think that's going to happen for the Vikings. So we have a really tough schedule this year. I do think that we have a shot at a top overall draft. I don't think we'll get the top overall, but we have a shot at the top 5 pick this year.
Honestly, if we do trade Cousins at the deadline, we could actually still end up with the top overall pick, actually.
I would hope so.
But I don't think that they trade him I just don't think it happens.
I don't think so either. But I also don't know if they're going to re-sign, especially if we tank out the season and it sucks. I don't think he's going to get another contract from the Vikings because I think we are going to look at a quarterback in the draft.
Absolutely. I think
there
if
are
we get,
some. By the way,
I think if we get a top 10 draft, if we get a
bef-
top 10 draft pick, I think we absolutely are picking up a quarterback.
you know who I would not mind?
I mean, there's quite a few.
Well, there's a couple. But there's a guy that's flying up draft boards that I would love to get my hands on as a Vikings fan, that I would be very happy to get.
I don't know.
Shadier Sanders.
Oh, yeah. We don't even know if he's going to declare, though.
We don't. I think he is only a junior.
He is. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if he might stick because his dad's obviously coaching. Like,
yeah, he might stick. But damn, is he good.
So far, he's looked really good, but we have to wait.
And they had their first real test against Colorado State yesterday, late last night, and they came back to win that game.
Yeah.
So, you know what? They're 3-0.
Yeah, no, they're definitely good. I just want to.
They're a lot better than what I think people thought they were going to be.
Yeah, they're really good. We'll just have to wait and see if they continue this form. But they're looking good.
I like Ewers. I like Drake May. I like Penix too.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, there's obviously, the one that everyone's like, that's
Caleb.
That's the one that's going to go first overall.
Yeah, everybody knows that that's the one that everybody's thinking is going to go first overall.
And then there's a couple other guys. I think 2 others that are like considered 2 and 3 or pretty close to 2 and 3.
Drake May and Caleb Ewers, I believe.
Yeah, I think those are the ones. And so we'll see how the season goes.
Penix is seen as a wild card, but he's also a junior and could stay another year. And Sanders is a wild card, but he's also a junior and could stay another year.
Yeah, because the problem if he declares you only have 1 year of tape. So some people are saying it's actually more beneficial for him to stay to get another year of tape. But we'll see.
I agree with them. If I were Penix and I were Sanders, I would stay another year and then highlight the next year's draft because both of them would be top prospects in the next draft.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. If I were them, that's what I would do.
But some players also do I'm good enough now, goddammit.
Yeah, there is that. But if you want the big money, you should wait until you know you're going to be a top pick. But then you have to... You're gambling on can I reproduce a good season and will I get injured? And
will I get injured? Yeah.
So
because that's also happened where we've seen that happen before.
All of that has to be taken into account. But it's not Caleb Ewers, it's Quinn Ewers. Pardon.
Quinn Ewers,
yeah. The Texas quarterback, where eventually Arch Manning will take that spot. Woo. Yep. Okay.
See how that goes.
Yeah. So, we do want to give a shout-out to the Colorado Buffaloes. Alabama looks weak for the first time in a long time.
They are looking a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, they're looking rough. Beat by Texas, and then they had a heck of a time getting anything going against USF.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we're going to end this here. If you liked what we do, please give us a like. Please give us a subscribe. Leave us a comment if you want to. We really do want to try to grow the community here. We try hard at everything we do. We are obviously not professionals, and all of the editing is done by me, and I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. So, but if you want to support a couple of weird schlubs on the internet, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We'll see you all next week. It'll probably be again next Sunday night. This seems to be a good time to record after the afternoon games. It's kind of a good routine for us. So, we'll see everybody then. And we will hope that you all have a great week. Peace.